Mariah the Scientist and her performative baby voice is an indication that she's stupid in romantic relationships.
Daddy, am I your baby?
To elaborate, because intentionally being a grown woman and then putting on a baby voice to sound appealing to men, it's like the best vocal indication of you being male-centered. I'm so mad that my nail chipped last night. And I can't believe that I can believe because it's TikTok and people find arbitrary and weird hills to die on. But I do stand by the fact that, like, one, the stereotypical baddie voice does sound like the Christian fundamentalist, like, fundy voice, as I explained in the last video. And yeah, I do think that intentionally making yourself sound like a baby, like, playing up the whole, like, I'm so small and helpless, like, you can't want a man that bad. You do seem like the kind of woman who defends Tory Lanez and Trey Songz and all that other BS. Also, I saw people on TikTok talking about the fact, I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone because you guys always want to see my work makeup routine. Talk about the fact that Kylie Jenner has, like, only been public with her relationships with black men, and now that she's with Timothée Chalamet, it's a lot more private. And I feel like this is that weird thing on TikTok where someone says something, and because it sounds vaguely smart, people assume that it's true. Even though I don't think I dropped my beauty blender. Even though I don't think we have any indication of that. Okay, first of all, if we're just talking about the relationship she had in her later teen years, from, like, Tyga on, the relationship with Tyga, which was a child being exploited by a grown man, and then it was enabled by her family, who essentially, like, pimped her out to that relationship. And then she changed her entire body to look like his sexual preference, which I know people don't want to have a lot of sympathy for Kylie Jenner, and I think there's some valid critiques. It's just interesting to me that so much, I discuss this in my podcast if you're interested in more nuance, but I don't think it's fair to say that she's only been public with black men when really her relationship with Travis wasn't that public, mostly to cover up the fact that they weren't in a relationship at all. Like, I thought everybody picked up on the timeline of when they got together and when she got pregnant. Like, that was clearly not a planned pregnancy. That was clearly a hookup gone wrong. Or I guess gone right. They kept the baby. It was a happy thing for them. But I don't think that was ever planned. And then they tried to get together, but they kept it pretty low key. Like, maybe there was some, like, Instagram commenting. And then I know people will say, like, oh, well, the W magazine spread. Yeah, when she got pregnant with the second baby, which, again, I don't think that was a relationship. I think they have a healthy co-parenting thing going on. And I think the Kardashians like to keep the same baby daddy. And she wanted, like, a matching set for her daughter. And he was cool with that. And it seems like they're both active parents and they're involved and they get along. But, like, they never had some love story for the ages. Like, she got knocked up kind of on, like, one of the first links. And I also don't think that she's very secretive with Timothy. They appear on red carpets together. Like, they debuted last year. They kiss on red carpets. He's a busy actor who's kind of away. In the same way that, like, Travis Scott was also a busy musical artist and was kind of away. And this leads me to my third thing. I see people talking about the fact that, like, oh, well, Timothée Chalamet is just really different from the guy she used to date. No, he's different in the sense that, like, he's white. But no, personality-wise, him and Travis Scott, I think, have a lot in common. I talked about this in a previous video, that, like, Timothy gets the artsy boy rep, and for some reason people think that that's, like, an all-encompassing identity, and you can't be into, like, musical theater and sports, like this is some sort of real life High School Musical stick to the stuff you know thing. But it's very much, hold on, both of them seem very bro-y to me. But Timothée Chalamet, of course, makes, like, serious art, and Travis Scott is a rapper, and that medium already is not taken seriously. And then, like, Travis Scott as a personality, kind of deservedly so, is also not taken super seriously. Also, I skipped a bunch of steps, not on camera. I feel like that criticism of Kylie Jenner is kind of better applied to, like, her sisters and the way that they navigated their very public relationships with black men versus the way that they navigated their relationships with their adult partners. But I'm not sure that Kylie is a good example. This is just the thing of like, Kylie seems to be the face of whatever reason of like a lot of the Kardashian criticism, when most of that should be focused on Kim, whereas like clearly Kim's like ideas and machinations. Again, not that I think Kylie Jenner is like this completely innocent party in all of this, but a lot of the whole, like, she's been exploiting them her whole life. When she was in, like, some of the exploitation that the Kardashians have been doing started when I was in middle school. Kylie and I are the same age. This started at, like, 13 for her. I don't know that that really holds up. Anyway, this is the final look. It's kind of hard to see because the light is bouncing off, but yeah. I'm gonna spray everything down. The trick to get your makeup to last all day. Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Spray. Heavily apply that, and then talk afterwards so you can taste it because it's a little bit yummy. One size setting spray. Boom. It's in the eyes. Also, between each step, I also like the Max Fix Plus. Although I hate the new package. And Mac, if you see this, please go back.
I think Mariah, when she started the baby voice, I think she didn't think it would go to the extent that it did, but it did. But the last time I saw her, she looked pissed off when somebody said that. She was like, oh my god, not this again. But it goes back to women trying to please man, because it goes back to men also glorifying younger women, finding younger women, younger voices, anything to do with younger girls of pure and innocence and impressionable, appealing to certain men. I can say men, so that's where she gets the drive from, to try to be appealing to men, because, well, women tend to do that at much. So I don't want to hold her extremely hard to that, because I kind of understand, especially when you do anything to become desirable for men. Some parents do this, some mothers do this as well, to do anything to keep their marriages because they can't see their lives without their significant other. But moving on to Kylie Jenner, I also felt like she was never the right candidate to be the face of the Kardashian as well. I feel like the focus should have been in Kardashian, like Kim Kardashian, because she has a longer history in the field than her sister. And I think it's because Kylie is younger, and because Kylie is younger, it gets people to be focusing on her than Kim, because Kim has now settled, and she doesn't seem to be out there anymore because of the generation. I guess it's a different generation. I feel like if it was Kim now, back then, it would have been more relatable. People would be focusing on her like they did back then, because people used to focus on Kim. It's not like Kim was never scrutinized and criticized by the media. She was. Another thing that I saw was what is this I saw something that talks about the exploitation in the industry in Hollywood, and I think that's exactly what happened to the Kardashian family, that the girls were just exploited by men in that industry, and for fame, for money, for all the things that they desire, that they wanted as a family, and they were exploited. So yeah, I'm just gonna add that video in the middle so that you can see the video that she's talking about. But if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.